transfer to Manchester United now.
Football prediction.
Power Rangers nil, Ipswich Town 1.
Football prediction.
Hi, it's Peter Guest, and I'm here with the Moose for another episode of the French Ligue footballpredictions.net podcast, covering games on the 10th of May, 2025. And you can see the details by clicking the links in the description of this podcast of all the matches we're about to discuss. And it'll take you to footballpredictions.net, where you can see other fixtures from just about every football competition in the world from A to Z.
Yes, and on our website, it will show you where to watch the games on local broadcast channels, plus video streaming services, as well as match odds from local bookmakers. Look in the description of this podcast episode for direct clickable links to all of the matches we're about to discuss. If you're streaming any of the matches on Bet365, geolocation and live streaming rules apply. 18 plus gamble aware.
First up, it's Rennes taking on Saint Etienne, and in 13th and Saint Etienne in 17th. It's on Saturday, the 10th of May, 8 p.m. Of course, go to footballpredictions.net. You'll find the link in the description of this podcast for this match, and you can see your localized kickoff time odds and streaming options. It's available on the League One Pass, and you can also stream it on Bet365. And to qualify for that, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours with them. This could be a close game, we think, don't we? Neither of these teams have won for a couple of games. Maybe one's due.
Yeah, and in general for Saint Etienne, it's not been a good year at all. You just have 3 wins all year. That's 3 wins from 17 games. Wow. They've lost the last 2. The most recent defeat for Saint Etienne was at home to Monaco. We predicted 3-1 Monaco, and guess what? It ended 3-1 Monaco. And in the last away game, we had 3-0 down for Strasbourg. It ended 3-1. So over 2.5, and the home team to win there, Strasbourg. So we've had some really almost 2 correct score predictions in a row. Now, the thing is, this game, it is very, very important game for both sides, because Reims at home or in the league table are on 33 points. You only have 2 points down to Havre in the relegation playoff. You have 6 points down to Saint Etienne. Now, the goal difference is so big that Saint Etienne won't be able to drag Reims into the direct relegation spots, but they could be dragged into that relegation playoff. Still, Saint Etienne has only got 4 points up to Havre, so they got plenty to play for in this game. If they lose, they will be out of League One. They will get relegated this season, Saint Etienne, if they lose this game. Now, the home team, Reims, they've not done particularly well of late, but they have just managed to pull off enough wins to just drag themselves out of the that relegation fight, but still only 2 points above. So they're still very much in it. 3 wins from 6, no wins now in the last 2, and they haven't scored in the last 2 games either, which were 2 away games. We have to remember that was away to Montpellier. We were already down. That was a 0-0 draw, and then they lost at Nice last weekend, 1-0 away from home. Reims has got just 1 win in the last 10, but I forgot that they were at home. So that doesn't really matter that much. The home form has been a little bit better recently. They won 2 from the last 3. They beat Toulouse 1-0 in the most recent home game, lost 1-0 to Strasbourg, and then they beat Marseille 3-1. So, they have just managed to pull up those crucial wins, but can they pull off another one here?
Yes, very good question. We're just looking at some of these stats as well. Rennes have been scoring not many goals. In fact, if you look at the sort of both teams to score stats in games featuring them, in the last 5, if you'd bet on both teams to score, 5 of them would have lost in the last 6 games. So usually it's only one team that scores, and Irons do keep the scores tight. Just going through their last few games, 1-0 in the last game against Nice, against Montpellier, 0-0, against Toulouse, 1-0, against Lens, 2-0, and against Strasbourg, 1-0. So, they keep a tight game. They don't always tend to have a lot of possession. The way that this is looking to us, we think this is going to be an under 2.5 goals game. You can get pretty good odds of that too. 2.2. We like that. We also have gone for a home win. Plans to win is 2.1. So you could take your pick, but probably under 2.5, judging by those scores. The last time I think they had an over 2.5 goals match was in the Coupe de France, where they played Cannes. So, and that was back in the very beginning of April. So anyways, we have gone for, in this one, a 1-0 scoreline. Did I mention the odds? Yes, 2.2 for under 2.5, 2.2, 2.1 for the home win. And for the correct score, 1-0, and you get odds of 10 for that, 9-1. Just taking you through the other top odds for the match, 3.2 for a St. Etienne win, 3.7 for a draw. So yeah, let's see how it goes. But we've gone for a 1-0 home side win. Next up, it's Auxerre in 10th, taking on Nantes in 15th. It's on Saturday, the 10th of May, also 8 p.m. kickoff, UK time. And for this one, of course, click the link in the description. It'll take you to your localized kickoff times, odds, and available viewing options. Here in the UK, we can watch it on Ligue 1 Pass, but you can also stream it here and in many places on Bet365. Check out website. You'll see, click that link. And to qualify to watch there, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. Use the bonus code FP365 if you do sign up with them. This could be anything, couldn't it, this one? Because everyone's of these two is win-loss, win-draw. Well, not so many draws for Auxerre, but for Nantes.
Yeah, two teams where Auxerre's got the least to play for. They've only got the honors, really. The season is pretty much done. They're sitting mid-table in 10th with 41 points. And yeah, you can't actually really move either way, whether they win or lose this game. But Nantes, though, they have plenty to play for. They are just 1 point above Havre in 16th, that relegation playoff. And they are not completely safe from a direct relegation as well. They got 5 points down to Saint-Etienne with just 2 games to go. If we do look at Auxerre first, like you said, not a lot of draws. They've won 3 and lost 3 of their last 6 games. But overall, Auxerre has been looking okay. They've won 5 from 9. So 5 wins, 1 draw, and 4 defeats, in the last 10 matches. But Nantes really is the team that's got something to play for here. They've had a bit of a particularly interesting schedule, considering we're getting towards the end of the season, because they had 3 away games in a row, followed up by 3 home games in a row. Now, those 3 away games were at Rennes, Nice, and Havre, picked up their last win out of those games. That was a 2-1 away win at Nice. That was a good win for them. But then in the 3 home games, most recently, a home defeat for Angers. And then they had a 0-0 draw against Toulouse and a 1-0 draw against PSG. That was a good point. He scored right at the death in the 83rd minute, got an equalizer. We had both teams to score in that game. Against Toulouse, we had under 2.5 goals as our main prediction. But yeah, this is an away game for Nantes. Last time they played away from home, they lost 2-1 at Rennes. We had 3-1 as our prediction, 3-1 defeat. They lost that one, 2-1. And generally speaking, Nantes, they have only picked up 3 wins away from home all season going into this one against Auxerre.
Yeah, this could be an interesting game. And just looking at those last results for Nantes, 0-1 against Angers, 0-0 against Toulouse. They even managed a 1-1 against PSG. So recently, they've been keeping the scorelines down. We think that'll continue here. We've gone for an under 2.5 goals tip here. Your odds there are 1.91. We've gone for an away win, though. Nantes to win, 2.4 is what you can get for that. Fairly decent, actually. And correct score-wise, we've gone for Auxerre 0, Nantes 1, and odds there are 9 or 8-1 in fractional. Other odds, so a draw, 3.4 is what you can get for that, and Auxerre can be had at the moment at odds of 2.9. Let's crack on. Next game is Angers, 14th, taking on Strasbourg in 6th. It's on Saturday. These are all 8 p.m., of course, the 10th of May. Of course, go into the link in the description of this podcast and you can find your localized kickoff time odds and streaming options. You can watch this one in the UK on the Ligue Pass. You can also see it on Bet365 live streamed. To qualify for that, all you need is any funds in your account or to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours. And when you join, use the bonus code FP365. Well, Strasbourg have been on a fascinating run of just, not lost for a long time, have they?
Yeah, let's focus on Strasbourg because what is happening there is really, really impressive. And they capped that off last weekend with a 2-1 home win against PSG. So yeah, really impressive win there. But even though Strasbourg is doing so well, they're still sitting in 6th. They're desperate to get into those Champions League spots. They got 2 games to go. With this form, they might end up there because they got Angers away, who still have a relegation fight to that they're in, and still have got a lot to play for in this game. And then Strasbourg finish at Havre at home. So really, they have 2 teams at the bottom, but it is 2 teams that do have a lot to play for still. So it's not going to be easy going, but Strasbourg sits in 6th. Now listen to this. They have 57 points together with Lille in 5th and Nice in 4th. But the goal difference is probably too big a gap for Strasbourg to gain because they have plus 14, Lille 17 and Nice 21. And remember, we just have 2 games to go. So they have to probably beat them on points. But Monaco sits in 3rd with 58, just 1 point above. Better goal difference, plus 24. And then you got Marseille with 59. So just 2 points separating these 5 teams. And Lyon, to be fair, are still in with a shout in 7th, but they have 54 points, probably out of it, considering the form that these other teams are in. And yeah, Strasbourg, they've been on such a good run this year because actually it was not looking too good for them up until the winter break. But then since coming back from that winter break, Strasbourg has lost only 1 game. And out of the last 9 matches now, they have won 7. They're on a really, really good run. And last weekend out, we had both teams to score in that PSG game. It ended 2-1 Strasbourg. We had Strasbourg to win against Saint-Etienne with over 2.5 goals and a 3-0 win. It ended 3-1 Strasbourg, so we're in on both on those. They then picked up a point at Monaco. We had a score draw at home to Nice. We had the 1-0 correct score prediction away to Angers. And with both teams to score against Lyon. So overall, follow our predictions on Strasbourg. You would have been in a very good spot recently. Let's just cover Angers quickly because actually their form has not been great, but they did manage to pick up 3 points last weekend at Nantes. They had a 1-0 win, and that was really, really crucial to them because it's taking them into 14th spot. They are 2 points above Havre in that relegation playoff. It doesn't look like they're going to go straight down, but still a lot to play for Angers here with just 2 points down to Havre. They could drop down into that relegation playoff again. And overall, they have struggled for goals. If we look at this sequence of defeats that they've had in the lead up to these couple of wins they've had of late, they lost 5 games in a row without scoring. And then they beat Montpellier. This is 4 match round 5. They beat Montpellier, who were bottom 2-0. They lost 2-1 at Nice, 2-0 at home to Lille. We predicted both outcomes of those matches. And then they beat Nantes 1-0 last week. But over the course of the last 9 games, Angers has only scored 4 goals. So that's half a goal a game on average, which is not great. Especially going into this game against an informed Strasbourg team.
Yeah, and on the converse side, in their last 6, Strasbourg have scored 12, so that's an average of 2 per game. So the force is certainly with them. They're unbeaten in their last 5 league matches away from home, Strasbourg, and Angers haven't beaten Strasbourg in their last 4 meetings. So we think this is probably going to carry on in that direction, and we think the away team will get the points. So we have, though, gone for both teams to score as another side prediction. 1.7 are the odds you can get for both teams to score. Strasbourg to win, though, is what we like. 1.8, they're odds on to win anyway, but it looks like it's likely going to happen. We've gone for a correct score of 1-2, so Angers 1, Strasbourg 2. Odds there, not great. They're there at 8.5. And other odds, so you can get Angers at home at 4.2, which is pretty big. A draw 3.8, and like I said, Strasbourg for 1.8 to get the win, or 1.7, 1.8, depends on which bookie you choose. But I've seen both of those around. Yeah, so there you go. Angers 1, Strasbourg 2. Next up is Havre in 16th, taking on Marseille, who are 2nd in the league. It's on Saturday, the 10th of May, 8 p.m., as we said. And for this one, check the link in the description. You'll find the localized kickoff time, odds, and available viewing options. You can watch it on the Ligue Pass. And if you don't want to watch it on subscription, you can stream it on Bet365 to qualify to watch. All you need is any funds. Could be €1, £1, dollar in your account. or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours. And sign up using the bonus code FP365. Again, this one's an interesting game. I know it's 16th versus 2nd, but mixed bag of results for both sides in the last 6.
Yes, but and like you said, first of all, this is a very interesting game at both halves of the table. We've covered mainly the bottom here because we covered Angers, we covered Saint-Etienne and Nantes. Havre sits in 16th. They got 4 points down to Saint-Etienne, and they have just 1 point up to Nantes with 2 games to go. They can desperate to pull themselves out of that relegation battle. And they did really well last weekend because they beat Auxerre 2-1 away from home. And in the last home game, they picked up a point against Monaco, who sits in 3rd, just 1 point off Marseille, by the way, with both teams to score in that game, with Havre to lose at PSG in the game prior to that. And then the home game prior to the PSG game for Havre, they lost 5-1 to Rennes. And that might sound like Havre has been in bad form, but then they did beat Montpellier away and they beat Nantes at home. So actually over the last 6 games, Nantes have 3 wins, 1 draw and 2 defeats. So they picked up 10 points over the last 6 games, which is not bad when you're in that position that they're in. But this one is really key. And they might eye an opportunity here, even though Marseille has been a little bit better of late because they did have a dodgy patch of form. They had a sequence of 5 defeats from 7, but then going into the Montpellier game, they beat them 5-1, and then they beat Brest 4-1. But those were both home games. The last away game was at Lille. That was a 1-1 draw. Lille, not a bad team, but they picked up a point there with both teams to score in that game. And let's just also mention that we have had the 4 outcomes prior to that game correct. The 3 wins for Marseille at home and then the defeat at Monaco as well. We had the outcomes of every single game there. But when we look at the away form for Marseille, no wins in 5 and just 1 win from the last 7. This year, they've only won 2 games away from home. That was at Rennes in January. And the last away win was at Angers, a 2-0 away win on February the 9th. So, no away wins in 3 months for Marseille, and they're taking quite a few beatings as well. They lost 3-0 at Auxerre, 3-1 at PSG, 3-1 at Reims, 3-0 at Monaco. Did pick up a point recently at Lille, and that was also the first away draw of the season. But yeah, this is not going to be an easy one for Marseille, and they need the points at the top because defeat here, that could see them dropping out of the Champions League spot altogether.
Yeah. One thing you've got to say about Marseille is they don't really have problems scoring. They can open up the opposition defences. And in the last 6 matches, they've scored 14 goals. But they've also conceded in every one of those games. So, that leads us to believe that this will be a both teams to score game. That's our tip. We've got that here at 1.7 odds. And for a full-time result prediction, we think they'll win, Marseille, that is, the away team. And you can only get 1.5 for that. So they're very heavily fancied to get the win and carry on and cement that second position in the table. And we've gone for, like I said, both teams to score. So we've gone for the correct score prediction of Havre 1, Marseille 2. And just looking at the odds for that, it's 8.5 for that correct score. We also just looking quickly at the other odds. So like I said, Marseille to win at 1.5, draw 4.5, and Havre all the way out at 6 for the win. So pretty good odds if you think there'll be a surprise win there for Havre. But yeah, we think it's going to go the way of Marseille. Next to our summary games, let's go with Rennes in 11th, taking on Nice in 4th. Again, all these games 8 p.m. on Saturday, the 10th of May. And this one you can stream. You can watch it on the Ligue 1 Pass. But you can also stream it on Bet365 to qualify for that. All you need is any funds in your account or to place bet within the last 24 hours. Use that bonus code FP365 when you sign up. Now, for this one, we have gone for an under 2.5 goals tip. We've gone for an away win, and we've gone for a correct score of Rennes 0, Nice 1.
Yeah, moving on to Montpellier in 18th, who takes on PSG in first of the champions, we should say. So this is really top versus bottom, but neither team has got anything to play for in this game. And obviously PSG season is still on with the
Champions
League final coming up after that win against Arsenal. Anyway, for this game, we are going to go with a PSG win. So that's a PSG win on the outcome. It's a both teams to score prediction. That's our main prediction for this game, is both teams to score. Correct score, Montpellier 1, PSG 3.
And next is Toulouse in 12th, taking on Lens in 8th. It's on Saturday, the 10th of May, again at 8 p.m. And again, you can stream it on Bet365 to qualify to watch. All you need is funds in your account or to have placed a bet with them in the last 24 hours and use the bonus code FP365 when you do join up with them. For this one, we've gone for an under 2.5 goals tip. We have gone for a home win and with the correct score of Toulouse 1, Lens 0.
Yeah, moving on to Brest in 9th, takes on Lille in 5th. Another game kicks off Saturday, 10th of May at 8 o'clock UK time. And if you want to watch, go to Bet365 because in order to qualify, all you need is to have a funded account, also have placed a bet in the last 24 hours and sign up with that bonus code FP365. Our main prediction for this game is both teams to score, an away win for Lille and a correct score of Brest 1, Lille 2.
And finally, Monaco in 3rd, taking on Lyon in 7th. It's again on Saturday, the 10th of May at 8 p.m. like them all. And here we have gone for a both teams to score tip. We've gone for a home win with a correct score prediction of Monaco 2, Lyon 1. And if you're going to watch that one on Bet365, which you can, make sure you use the bonus code FP365 upon registration. To qualify for that and all the other League One games, you can see them, is to have placed a bet in the last 24 hours or a funded account. Geolocation and live streaming rules apply. Full details are available on the Bet365 website. 18 plus, gamble aware.
Yeah, and in the description section of this podcast, you can see links to the games we've just been discussing. I'll just simply go directly to footballpredictions.net. On there, you can browse the online places to watch the games from your location, live streaming and TV channels, our predictions for different betting markets, team news, as well as the best offers and odds.
Yeah, and this is obviously the last one for the season for us. So thanks for joining us on all of these podcasts. We do record podcasts across other competitions as well as Ligue, and you can listen to them all at podcast.footballpredictions.net or, of course, where you get your favorite poddies from, like Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. Well, thank you for joining us again. And for this time and the last time in the year, it is
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
I thought predictions.